I always say, if you're on LinkedIn, you should be making money. It's all very well using social media to make friends and build relationships, etc., which we all should do. But the ultimate goal is to make money. Otherwise, social media is just a nice to have. It's just a luxury. And I think this is where a lot of business owners I speak to, they kind of fail in that. They kind of say, well, I'm not making money from it, or I'm building relationships and it's good for brand awareness. And yeah, sure it is. But ultimately, we want to take it down a route of how do we find people that actually give us money, or find people that tell other people to give us money, such as like a referral network.
I'm Mike Harris, and I help businesses to successfully grow their turnover and profit. In the last year alone, I have helped dozens of businesses at least double in size, and I work with small, medium and large businesses, including startups and multinationals. Hello and welcome back to All You Leaders and Strategy. I'm Mike Harris, and today I'm joined by a very special guest, professional host and presenter, marketing expert, and the LinkedIn guru himself, Gus Bundell. Hello, Gus.
Hi, Mike.
Welcome.
Hi. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you here.
So my name's Gus. I run a business called the M Guru. The M stands for marketing. Took me ages to come up with that name. I've always been in marketing. I've got almost 30 years of marketing experience, marketing qualifications, loads of letters after my name and all that kind of stuff. Worked for some of the world's largest businesses. And then 8 years ago in 2017, I thought I could do this for other people and I can run my own business. So I started my own marketing agency in 2017 and I've been doing it ever since. So basically it's an agency which helps businesses with social media, digital marketing strategy, but focusing on LinkedIn being the nucleus of any solid digital marketing strategy.
What a great time to start 2017. That would have been as that was beginning to evolve, I guess. And
yeah, I almost hit the zeitgeist of kind of making social media work specifically. And one of the reasons is just before I started my own marketing agency, I ran a pub for a little while. Right. So I was a pub landlord, and I looked after the marketing and the social media, etc. And if I didn't do social media well, I wouldn't get bums on seats. Yeah. And that's where I really learned, how to make social media work and how to actually turn it into money and clients and bumps on seats, quite frankly. Yeah. So that was kind of, that was
what took you into it in the first place.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So today's icebreaker, before we came on, you've picked the one that you'd like to go with. So we're going to go with, what proverb or mantra do you live your life by and why?
See, I love that question. And it's because, and this is a fairly kind of recent mantra. I have a whole range of kind of mantras, but the one that really sticks out is good thoughts, good words, good deeds. And I got to be honest, I don't know if I've got that in the right order, but generally, it says the right things. I heard that in the biopic about Freddie Mercury, so Bohemian Rhapsody in the film, and it's Freddie Mercury's religion. It's kind of their mantra and the proverb from that religion, and I just thought it makes sense. It's something that I share quite a lot on social media and particularly on LinkedIn, etc., to talk about the fact that we should just be good people. And I know it sounds really trite and really obvious that actually we should just be good people, but not everybody is. And I think sometimes if you just have good thoughts, good words, and good deeds, I think everything else falls into place.
So you focus a lot on LinkedIn.
Yes.
In fact, you're the top, what was it, the top LinkedIn?
The UK's number one LinkedIn trainer, yes, according to my mum.
According to your mum.
Yes.
Which I have to say is the first time we met, you presented, you hosted, I think, or presented at an event. And I thought that was hilarious.
And the reason I do that is because, so it attracts people, but it also repels people. So I'm the UK's number one LinkedIn trainer, according to my mum. First of all, nobody's going to argue with my mum. Mainly because she hasn't got a LinkedIn profile, so it's fine. However, the purpose of that was, I said it at a networking event once and it just kind of stuck. Yeah. And the thing is, some people find it funny. And if they find it funny, it means we have some sort of affinity. Yeah. And they think, actually, I want to work with this guy because I like his attitude or I like his personality or whatever it may be, etc. But actually, it also repels the people that think, No, he thinks he's funny, or I don't like that,
it's
or I
too
want to be.
frivolous or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. The people that are really upset though are other LinkedIn trainers. Ironically,
I thought you were going to say your mum.
Yeah, my mom. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, she's not on LinkedIn. She doesn't see it. But there are other LinkedIn trainers are kind of like, well, how can you quantify that? How can you say you're number one? And obviously, I think that says more about them than it does about me.
Yeah.
And I just reply, well, you should speak to my mum, and I kind of leave it at
maybe
that.
your mum thinks you are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's.
But I liked it because I think it shows the personality.
Yeah.
You stood out from the crowd by having that humour. But for me personally, I want to work with people that I have fun with and get on with. We spend far too much time at work as it is.
Yeah.
So we might as well spend it with people that we're going to have a laugh with and enjoy time with. Yeah.
Sure.
And I think those who think it's frivolous or think it's not professional are missing the point. You can be very professional and very expert in what you do and still enjoy yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's really important.
You look at any of the what we call personal brands kind of in the world, or whether we talk about Richard Branson or whoever. I could name kind of 100 people that you would see like on television or listen to on radio, etc. On a regular basis. They all have a personality. They're professional in what they do, and they are all making money, and they're all kind of subjectively successful, but they have a personality, and it's very easy to say, well, we're all unique and we should be ourselves, etc. But I think we should amplify who we are to attract the people that like us.
Well, it took me a long time to actually, in my career, to actually realise that I had to play to my personality and use it in what I did, rather than kind of hide it and keep it to one side. And, But once you realise how important it is, I think as I say, it makes life more fun. Then you can be yourself and enjoy yourself.
Life is fun, and it makes it memorable. You create memories, but you create memories for others, and I think that's the thing. So
So coming back to LinkedIn, then I'm going to ask you sort of some specific things about LinkedIn. So, what do you think are the top 5 do's and don'ts when you're on LinkedIn?
Ooh. The top 5 do's and don'ts. So. I could start with a couple of don'ts. So first of all, don't ever join an engagement pod. That's the thing. So an engagement pod is where lots of people join some sort of group and they all kind of are almost obliged to comment on each other's content, etc. Don't do that, because obviously they're not people who are your ideal clients or people that you should be, talking to, etc. So stay away from engagement pods, stay away from automation and all that kind of stuff. Something to do is, like we just discussed, is always be yourself. Really lean. I talk to so many people that say all of my content is too static or is too boring or is too professional, etc. And it doesn't show off personality. So I always say, be yourself, show off personality. You can be both. You can be fun and professional. So don't, they're not mutually exclusive, etc. A basic tip would be to look at your headline. So the bit that sits under your name on LinkedIn, so many people just put a job title like chief executive or director of this. And it's kind of, it doesn't, for want of a better phrase, nobody cares, right? They couldn't care less about job titles, anything. Like, what do you do? So I have this, what I call the famous Gus Bandel LinkedIn headline template. Probably needs a better title, to be honest, but it's what, who, how, why. So what do I do for a living? Who do I do it for? How do I do it? And why should you work with me?
Right.
And it kind of, particularly the who do I work for? So I will say I'm a LinkedIn trainer for small businesses, service sector businesses, based in the UK or whatever, etc. I help you with LinkedIn, and I help to amplify your visibility and increase your inbound leads, for example. So it's the what, the who, the how, and the why. So I always recommend to kind of get that done on your headline. So don't use engagement pods, don't use automation, always be yourself. Write your bio, so it obviously talks to your audience. And then finally, I'd probably say, think about your long-term content strategy, which sounds like a massive, it sounds like a really big thing, but actually think long-term about the kind of content you want to create on LinkedIn to attract the people that ultimately want to give you money.
Yeah. I note, and this brings me on nicely to my next question, actually, because on your website, you say that you help businesses use LinkedIn, but maybe most importantly, you say you help businesses make money through LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So again, some thoughts on how companies can do that or individuals can do that.
when social media started, it was very much about connection. It was connecting to people, and it connected people personally, such as, you know, your family across the world, or, you know, your next door neighbors, or, you know, your old school friends and all that kind of stuff. As business owners, we discovered quickly that actually we can attract an audience that are interested in what we do for a living as well. Particularly on LinkedIn, it's the world's biggest business focused platform. There are 1.2 billion people on LinkedIn, which makes it kind of, I think, is in the top 4 largest platforms in the world after Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. But the difference with LinkedIn is it's predominantly business focused. The people on there are actually, they're professionals. They want to speak to each other about business, etc. And I always say, if you're on LinkedIn, you should be making money. It's all very well using social media to make friends and build relationships, etc., which we all should do. But the ultimate goal is to make money. Otherwise, social media is just a nice to have. It's just a luxury. And I think this is where a lot of business owners I speak to, they kind of fail in that. They kind of say, well, I'm not making money from it, or I'm building relationships and it's good for brand awareness. And yeah, sure it is. But ultimately, we want to take it down a route of, how do we find people that actually give us money, or find people that tell other people to give us money, such as like a referral network.
Interesting. And do you mean that in using it as a means of getting orders and work, or do you mean actually using it as a means of, I don't know, selling a service through LinkedIn? I'm not sure.
But I know what you mean. Yeah, it's about bringing work in. Basically, it's about attracting a tribe. And the thing is, so for example, you and I met in person. We then connected on LinkedIn. We had conversations about me being on this podcast, etc. So as a financial gain directly, that hasn't worked directly in this case, but we've made friends and we're connected, and now we're on a podcast together, and all that kind of stuff. But that will lead to other things. Kind of, you know, my network will get to know you, your network will get to know me. If sometime in the future somebody says to you, hey, I need a LinkedIn trainer, you'll say, oh, you should speak to Gus, for example. If somebody needs your services and somebody asks me about that, I'll say, oh, you should speak to Mike. And that's kind of how it works. So I think it's the long-term brand building, but, you know, personal relationships, kind of, and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of obviously what we want to do. But the focus, the longer term focus, however we do it, is ultimately to get people through our door, to get the bums on seats, get people to ultimately buy our services, buy our products, etc. However we do that is a different matter, because everybody on LinkedIn does it in different ways. Some people just sell directly. Product-based businesses will just sell directly, whereas I think service sector businesses, it's a much kind of slower burn. It's a much longer thing, but actually it's about building relationships.
This episode is sponsored by Strategist Consulting, expert business and leadership consultancy for everyday businesses and professionals. What if the key to your business's next growth phase isn't a mystery, but a proven process? Is your business at the ceiling, with profits flat, daily chaos, and scaling up feeling like a risky leap? You're not alone, and you don't have to solve it alone. Strategist Consulting is your partner for structured, transformative growth. Led by Mike Harris, a proven strategist and project manager with expertise in scaling businesses, bid management, and delivering results, we provide clarity through our core service, the Business Review Workshop. This isn't just advice, it's a deep dive analysis that delivers a clear, actionable roadmap. We identify your bottlenecks, uncover hidden opportunities, and give you the precise steps to move from stuck to strategic execution. Visit www.strategistconsulting.co.uk now and transform your business trajectory.
Changing the subject slightly, do you want to talk about the squeeze?
The squeeze, oh, absolutely. Yeah. So, for people who are thinking, what the hell is this? What's he talking about now? Yeah. So the squeeze is the name of my LinkedIn focused membership. So I have a membership which is essentially an accountability system for people that I teach how to use LinkedIn. So over the years, it's no exaggeration to say that I've literally helped thousands of people with their LinkedIn, to get better at LinkedIn, to improve their profile, to get clients, to build networks, etc. The problem is that only a small percentage of them actually go on to implement the work on a regular basis. So then I started a membership. So I thought, right, I'm gonna hold people accountable now. So essentially, people pay me monthly to quite frankly kick their backside down LinkedIn. But I've called it the squeeze because, as you may have noticed, for those watching, a lot of my brand is orange. So I wear orange trainers. I sometimes wear orange bandanas or orange turbans, orange shirts, and all that kind of stuff. And I can tell the story about how that started, but it's all about the orange. So the squeeze, as in squeezing all the juice out. It's squeezing an orange, squeezing all the juice out of LinkedIn, but also me kind of putting my arm around you and kind of hand holding you through the process of using LinkedIn to actually become a success on LinkedIn. You know,
I mean, I totally agree. I mean, I work, as I said earlier, I do a lot of work with companies on the business plan and the business strategy. And the difference between what makes them those plans a success is the follow through. What happens next? And I mean, I get held often on a retainer, and all I'm doing is going back and saying, "You said you were going to do this. Have you done it?
Yeah.
Did it work?" And sort of talk through any issues they had, because inevitably things don't go as the plan, and things come out left field. But it's really true. You need to have it. You need to be able to drive through and deliver, and often if you haven't got somebody third party independent sort of doing that, it just gets forgotten. It gets left. Some other things get in the way of delivering it. So.
Particularly for small and medium businesses. Like it's all right for the large conglomerates. They are, they have a whole board of directors that essentially kick each other's backsides. But when you're a small and medium business, things can fall by the wayside and you get caught up in the day-to-day and all that kind of stuff. And I think, yes, LinkedIn is just one aspect of digital marketing, but actually I think it's a very important aspect to build a network, bring clients in, make money, etc. So, and again, it becomes a luxury. It's kind of the kind of thing like, oh, I'll do that the weekend, or I'll do that in a couple of weeks, or I'll add it to my plan, and you never get around to it. And then by which time it's too late because your competitors are doing it. So when they do it and you see your competitors, think, oh, I better post now. But then you always look like a follower as opposed to a leader and all that. There's so many kind of different aspects to it. And actually, sometimes you just need somebody to say, have you done this yet? Can you do this now? Or can you do this at some point? And so, me included, all business owners.
And there's so many
trends
now, isn't there? Whether you've got to do a video or you've got to do a carousel or all these things that, and my mind spins when they say, to get I don't know, get the views up or get the connections up, you've got to do carousels now. And I was just thinking.
And it's, but on LinkedIn, we're not allowed to call them carousels.
Oh, we're not?
They're called document posts.
Oh, okay.
But they're carousels, basically. So I think that, I think particularly the thing on LinkedIn is there are so many kind of pieces of advice in terms of, oh, you should do videos, make sure they're portrait style videos, make sure they got subtitles. Oh, do carousels, which are actually called document posts. Make sure you add a selfie. Make sure you talk about yourself. Tell people about the lasagna you made last night. Post at 6:37 on a Tuesday morning. And the thing is, it's okay for me. I'm a LinkedIn trainer. I do this 23 hours a day, but for people who have a proper job, you haven't got time to worry about all those little nuances, which is why I always say, think about your long-term content marketing strategy and then try and make sure you are really leaning into who you are to attract the tribe that you want to, that ultimately either want to give you money or refer you to others that should be giving you money.
You talk about the C's of LinkedIn. So again, I thought that might be a useful topic to cover today.
Yes,
so just take us through those.
Absolutely. So I started with the 3 C's of LinkedIn, as in the letter C, just to be clear, as opposed to some sort of like like
as opposed to the ocean.
as opposed to like pretending I'm a pirate or anything. But it's community, content, and conversation. And I normally add a 4th kind of bonus C, which is confidence, which I'll talk about in a moment. But the 3 C's of LinkedIn is the 3 things that everybody needs to use on LinkedIn. We need to curate our perfect community. So find your community. And it's really easy to, like I said, you go into the search box, type in for exactly the kind of clients you want to be surrounded with and connect to those people. And hopefully they accept your connection request. You create a community around you. Then I would create content that they would want to read. So whatever your community wants to read, whatever they're interested in, the reason they accept your connection request is because they're interested in you.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people don't create content on LinkedIn because they're just like, oh, I don't want to, or I can't do this, or I haven't got time, etc. But all these people are connected to you already. There are people with thousands of connections, but they're interested in you because they've connected. If they weren't interested, they wouldn't accept. So kind of thing. And then, so you're leaving money on the table kind of thing. And then the third one is conversation. So people forget that LinkedIn is not a broadcasting channel. It's not a channel where you can just post and leave.
That's what I do.
And so it's the get involved in other people's conversations. Go and comment on their content, particularly ideal clients. A lot of my clients come to me because, quite frankly, when they need a LinkedIn trainer, they come to me because they say, I can't get away from you. You're always commenting on our content or engaging with us, or, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So rather than go to Google or go somewhere else, etc., they come to me because I'm the person that they see all the time, kind of thing. And again, we're not talking about like hours a day. I always recommend that you should spend 10 to 15 minutes a day before getting on with the rest of your day in just engaging with others. Just scroll your feed. And if you've curated the perfect community in the first place and you're creating content that they want to read, when you then see them in your feed and engage them in conversation, then they remember you as opposed to somebody else.
I make the mistake when I do conversation, it tends to be on the posts of people I know well, because I feel comfortable doing that.
Yes.
It's not necessarily people I'm connected to who I don't particularly know well.
Yeah.
So I'm obviously missing a trick in that.
Yeah, it's okay. The thing is, everybody wants engagement on LinkedIn, whether they know you or not.
Yeah.
And if they don't know you and you engage with their content, they found somebody else like new in their life, for example. So I think, and if don't get me wrong, if they're not interested, then they just won't respond or they'll move on, etc. And that's fine. But there are 1.2 billion people. If you find somebody that doesn't like you, you're going to find at least another 1,000 that will. Yeah. So I think it's the outbound engagement that works. A lot of my suppliers and a lot of my clients are people that I've engaged with over time on LinkedIn, whether I've commented on their content or they've commented on mine. And actually, while we were speaking of the C's, so the fourth bonus C was confidence. And I often talk, so a lot of my clients or potential clients or people that are talking to me about LinkedIn often say, we don't have the confidence to post. Like you just said, now I just speak to my friends. I just speak to the people that I know, etc. And actually, I always say, if people aren't paying your bills, their opinion doesn't count, right? They're not, so don't worry about your ex-boss or your ex-partner or your friends that might laugh at you, etc. Unless they're paying your bills, it makes no difference. I think the thing is, we have to use LinkedIn to curate an audience around us that are interested in what we have to say. Whether they want to read our post or whether we comment on their content, it's about having the confidence to actually just be ourselves and get involved in conversations.
Interesting, yeah. I agree. I mean, I used to have a boss who whenever he was told why companies didn't use his firm, so in a large business, and he would say, but I'm not interested in the companies that don't use my firm. I don't care what they say about me because they're not my customers. I'm interested in what the people who do use my firm have to say about us. They're the ones I'm going to listen to because they're the ones who actually come to us and give us money and pay for our goods and services, which is a similar take on what you're saying there. It's loads of people out there, but who do you really want to be interested in and listen to? And it's those that will help you grow your business and promote your business.
Yeah, and related to that, actually, I mean, that's a great story, actually, because actually what we often do is worry about lots of people, but really it's the people that are giving us money that will become our word of mouth kind of like referral network. So people that give us money are the ones that will actually talk to others about us, because they're the ones that provide our testimonials, our reviews, our case studies, etc., which then helps to create social proof to amplify us to more of those kind of people. So don't worry about the people that don't pay us.
No, exactly. We're going to have to leave it there. For a change, I'm on a hard stop and I'm going to get away. So thank you for joining us. Been great fun. Hopefully you'll come back and join us again soon.
I will, yeah, absolutely.
And just a quick reminder of where you can find us. You can watch us on the Leaders in Strategy YouTube channel, listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Podbean and Podchaser. And of course, we upload every episode onto my LinkedIn page and also onto the Strategist Consulting website. Everybody, go out there, start using social media more, particularly on LinkedIn. Get in contact, feel the squeeze.
Yes.
And I'll see you again soon.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.